Hi, this is Josh Olson. You're watching Trailers from Hell, and today we're going to shave our mustaches, suit up, and kick the shit out of the guards with Burt Reynolds in the good version of The Longest Yard. Burt Reynolds is probably the most confounding movie star I can think of. Every now and then, he'd make a terrific movie. I mean, a movie that was great enough to remind you that he was a movie star. You get Deliverance, or, even just some good ones like Fuzz, White Lightning, The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing, this movie, Sharky's Machine. And then he'd go off and make stuff that, was fine, I guess, but didn't really do it, like Smokey and the Bandit, or Cannonball Run, or Stroker Ace. And he seemed to be having a good time while he was doing all this, though. But over the years, many terrific filmmakers would try to give him this sort of big comeback. And he would always be great in these films. He's fantastic in Boogie Nights, in Citizen Ruth, in Breaking In, which was written by our own John Sayles. And then he'd kind of blow it again and go off and be in something awful, like Stick or Heat, not the good one. But maybe he didn't care. I don't know. You look at him and he looks like he's having a great time. And I hope he was, because there's more to life than movies, or so I'm told. But there were a lot of qualities that Burt had, and several of them come through in his better films. He was a movie star. He was a terrific actor. He had a great sense of humor. He was a real good old boy, and in fact, he was at one point an athlete. He used to play football for Florida State University. And this is the one movie where all of those qualities come together. It's just a fantastic film. The producer, Albert Ruddy, who'd also produced The Godfather and many other films, came up with a story originally when he knew a rich woman who had an ex-football player boyfriend who'd kind of blown his career and was now living off her. And that inspired him to come up with this story. Burt plays a former NFL quarterback who sells out his team and chucks a game and is now living off of a rich woman. He's a completely unsympathetic character in the beginning. He steals her car, he hits her. It's a testimony to, I think, his confidence as a star and to his trust in his director, Robert Aldrich, that he would do that, knowing that by the time the film was done, he would have earned your respect and affection back. And he certainly does. Burt is sentenced to jail. The warden, played by the great Eddie Albert, is staging a football game between the guards and the inmates. And it's a wonderful context in which we're cheering for these inmates who are planning to really demolish and hurt the guards, who clearly have it coming. It's a great ensemble cast. Aside from Albert, there's the great Ed Lauter, there's Richard Kyle, Michael Conrad. Earlier you saw Bernadette Peters with one of the most amazing hairdos in the history of film. She's absolutely great. But at the center of it all is Burt Reynolds, he's charming and magnetic, and he really carries the film. It sort of feels like a comedy, but you realize when you watch it, it's really not. The humor comes out of the characters and out of Burt Reynolds' innate good nature. But it's kind of a straight film. It was remade many years later as a comedy. In fact, Burt had a small part in that film. But this is the one I prefer to remember him by. It's a wonderful film. Directed by Robert Aldrich, who directed many great films: Emperor of the North, Dirty Dozen, Flight of the Phoenix, Attack, Kiss Me Deadly, The Big Knife, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Basically half the movies we've done here on Trailers from Hell.
From the producer of The Godfather, from the director of The Dirty Dozen, from the first second to the last, the Mean Machine means it. Burt Reynolds, Eddie Albert, in The Wildest Yet. The Longest Yard.